As promised. Okay, I'm done with this project. Steps are done. Okay. Now this took me exactly 40 minutes with a brush, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you the difference between brushing and spraying. First off, you can't spray in here, right? Look at all the enclosed space, and you'd have to do all this prep work. So you would naturally brush this correctly. Okay, so I'm gonna use that as an argument, all right? First, let's close this garage door. Hold on. We gotta get out of here. Okay, that's how you get out of a garage door. Run like hell. Okay. Good morning. A customer came by here yesterday when I was staining this fence, and I was rolling it on and brushing. And we got a conversation started, and she says her fence looks like hell, and it's only been a year and a half since it was sprayed. And she said to me, this is her quote, was, "It looked faded within a couple of days." And being that we have, extreme heat here in North Carolina, she said she just wasn't happy with the job. And I said, well, because when you spray, you can't just spray, you have to back brush, okay? So you are brushing even with your spraying, and then you gotta also do a lot of prep work because you gotta put a plastic everywhere. So this is what's going on. Okay, there it is. Look at that. That was done a year and a half ago. That was done 2 years ago. And the guy, he said he backbrushed. He sprayed it and backbrushed. This was just sprayed. Look, it's all faded out, man. The stain's not holding up. Okay, it's not holding up. Now, I'm complete. I've got this all done. And the reason why I brush, even though it takes me 8 hours, is not a controversy on how much money. Okay, let's take the money out of the equation. Let's say both jobs, that one is $1,500 and that one was $1,500. They finished in 4 or 5 hours. I finished in 8.5 hours. Okay, let's say we both made the exact same amount. They got out of here faster. Now, my argument with the customer always will be that I'm putting on the paint so much thicker. Because with a roller, you're gonna put it on thick. You can't help it unless you're being a cheap ass and you're not really laying it on. And with a brush, I come back and back brush all my strokes from the roller. So I'm doing a 2-part process, and that's putting it on really, really thick, okay? Now, there's another term. It's called autonomization. Now, if you don't know what that term means, you need to look it up. With a sprayer, guess what? It's forced out the nozzle through air pressure, right? Okay, no secret there. So what happens is that the paint gets air in it, has air in it. So if you're using an oil-based stain, not a Thompson's water seal, but an oil-based stain, then what'll end up happening is that if you don't go back over it with your your sprayer strokes, let's say 2 or 3 coats, then you're putting it on. But most of these guys don't do 2 or 3. They do 1 and 2. They go across it and they come back. And then you got some guy there with a roller or a brush that's supposed to back roll it or back brush it, okay? That's the difference. So in reality, what happens is that when you spray, it actually goes on thin, okay? It goes on thin. With my work, it goes on thick. That's the argument. You can say anything you want to about speed. I don't do speed, okay? I do always the same work, brush stroke, and to me, it's just a quality, more of a quality outcome, a consistent outcome. I can control the dips, the drips. I can control everything about the process of the stain going on the fence. So I know, you know, the guys that are used to spraying, keep spraying, man. Do what makes you happy. But you know what? The one thing that keeps coming back as a common denominator is that all these customers I've had in the last 15 years in this city, and I remember that I'm North Raleigh, they keep bringing me back. They keep dropping my name on Nextdoor. I got 100% satisfaction approval rating on Nextdoor, all the chat forums, 100% across the board in 5 different neighborhoods, probably 6. So, you know, that's my argument. When people see you hand brushing, they automatically think, man, old school. Because I had 5 people come up to me yesterday when I started this process, and they all asked me, you know, why aren't you doing this? Well, how come you're doing it this way? You know, why, you know, you assume that there's going to be better results. And I spoke in depth with all of them. I told them all, I said, look, here's the way I believe this thing should go. And this is the way the product works. And this is the perfect brush, and this is the perfect roller you got to use. The temperature's got to be right. And you got to know what the hell you're doing. You know, it's not hard to understand that. You got to know what you're doing. I mean, look at this. That's when you know you got the stain, like I say, you're controlling it. See? And another thing, no splash, no stains, no nothing. Everything is stained, even the back. I can't get my camera around the corner, but you know, you get what I mean. 100% done. There you go. Both sides, inside and out, and both sides of the yard done, and also the garage steps. And like I said, 8 hours versus 4, you know, or 5. Who cares? If you're making the exact same money, let's say, like I said, $1,500. Let's just use that as a number. Whether you charge more or less, that doesn't matter, okay? And let's just say in your mind, you say, okay, I'm gonna break my sprayer out and start going after this. And then you got all the prep work, you've got all the things you gotta do, put up the plastic to protect the house and all this other stuff, and then you go for it. Then you're sitting there telling me that to get out in 4 hours, knowing that you're gonna not be able to upsell these customers, you're not gonna be able to upsell them, because what they see is really just a cheap way out. Because anytime you use a sprayer, to me, a lot of these people are not that stupid. Now you see a guy out there brushing, hand brushing everything. It's old school, man. People pay for old school. That's my argument. Because they think you're actually working. You know what I mean? They think you're actually working. So I'll talk to you guys later. Leave those comments. What's your opinion about this whole thing? Right now, I've got to go up to a couple houses up here that already set appointments with me from yesterday. So there you go, proof positive. The way I do it, people like it. And I'm sticking to that. Hasta la vista, baby.